All right. We want to welcome everybody to our Giving Power to the Business Owner webinar series. And for today's show, we're going to be talking about the financial freedom and wealth mindset for business, family oriented professionals. We will be talking with John JJ Checky. He's going to be our guest for today. As you all know, we do this in a way for people to be aware of what power they have in their business. A lot of times in business, we all feel like that it's just us and we don't have anybody else and we got to figure it out and we got to get it done. Well, we try to give you this giving power to the business owner episodes or your episodes or shows so you can see that you have people that can help you do what you need to do. And one of the things that we notice as business owners is that we don't think about the financial stability of what we need to be doing as we build our business. Uh, Looking at what our family should be secured and how we should handle it because we're all about just doing our business. Well, JJ is coming in today to show us, okay, guys, take a minute. Let's save all those profits you're doing and let's find a place today. So if you all, let's welcome JJ Chicky in with us today to talk to us about financial advisor. Thank you so much, JJ, for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jackie, for the opportunity to be on your show. And as far as just a quick overview, been in the securities industry over 12 years. Joined John Checky Jr., who's my pop, in the business with Checky Financial and Osaic Wealth. So we've been serving clients together over 50 years, helping families, business owners, engineers, and the medical professional, just to name a few, with their finances and financial freedom.
Exactly. Great. And that's why we got you here today. Because a lot of business owners, like I said, we have business, we just don't know what to do. So let's start out with the big question. And we have come up with a lot of questions, and a lot of our clients set some questions in for you, send questions in for you too, JJ. So I know we've talked a little bit about it, but let's do this. We want to start off when it comes to balancing, I guess, your enjoyment, your financial and your business world. How do we do that in our business as we start our businesses? What's your suggestion?
Yeah, yes, definitely. Well, part of it is defining what fun is for you.
Mm.
So the lifestyle that you want, which we'll touch on numerous times, I'm sure today. But so if you're wanting to build a business, say that you have a freedom of time in your schedule, which might be the reason why several people on this call have started their own businesses, or opportunity for additional income that you didn't have in other ways, is defining what you would desire. What is the lifestyle you want now? What is the lifestyle you want in the future? And then being intentional about that. Maybe early on, that includes really late nights and early mornings as you get started. But at the same time, the importance of the experiences with your family around the dinner table, definitely big in our house, and other places to spend time with our families, because that's why we're building the business in the first place, is to serve clients and to be there for our family.
Exactly. And that's what I like about you, JJ. You serious about business, but you also let them know, hey, let's have fun and do this. You can make money and do this. You can grow with wealth and do this, but let's have fun. And most of us as business, we don't have fun. So for you to be a financial advisor and to start off with that is always showing that you're already relating. You actually have empathy of what we're going through. And that's something I think is really great and why we wanted to have you on here. So let's talk a little bit about some smart tax strategies. Okay. What are some legal and thoughtful ways professionals can minimize their income tax burdens?
Yes, definitely. And something I hadn't mentioned yet is we partner with other professionals like a virtual family office, CPAs, attorneys, others specialized in your area, whether it's a transactional attorney, business brokers, all those different things. To be able to, we've vetted them so we can bring them to the table as a resource for our business owners. So with that, the tax part of that is planning in advance as you're forming your business, thinking through what are the different tax structures, state-wise, federally, and the impact that has for you, for your employees, for your customers, your clients, just all different areas, in addition to that impacts the type of retirement plans and savings you can set up for you and your business as well. Because different structures are able to do different type of retirement and savings, tax deferred savings and things like that. We won't get into the finer points of which entity does what, but just know that there is a difference in what you can do with how you're structured, how you structure your business. And a big part of that is began talking is tax diversification, planning not only for your business income and paying attention to that, your own family's finances, but then also you want to look at tax things that have been taxed, so it's diversified across investments as well. So there's different aspects to tax diversification and smart money moves.
So I noticed, like you said, that you all provide tax help. You have CPAs, y'all kind of bound with them. So
Mhm.
let me ask you this, and I'm just thinking about it, being in business as well, is that when would be the best time? Because I'm looking at, let me say this, let me go back up, let me back up. Because I'm listening to what you're saying, compared to me just going to a CPA on my own. I may want to start with my financial advisor first. Because you saying you can guide to which way I need to go. CPA, if I need a real estate one, want emphasize, if I need one that emphasize on, just certain deals, you could guide me because you know what I want to do financially, and you can tell. See, and I hadn't thought of that until I heard you talk. I'm like, shoot, I need to go through him first, and then we go to that. So, as a business owner, you said we need to plan in advance. When should that start? When should I start planning? In my first year, second year? When?
Or that.
Oh,
When you're preparing to actually launch your business, to think about what you want this to look like in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years down the road and beyond. But so maybe do you set all the structures up day one? Maybe not. But you know what you're working towards, which then helps guide what type of entities you need to create. And some of you are well experienced, have already far down the road in this. You know what we're talking about. For those who might be on the earlier side of the business, you
right.
want to make sure that you establish it from the beginning, and that's both the business entity as well as the tax side of bringing those together. Once again, bringing those connecting those other professionals that were a bit like a quarterback or a head coach. I mean, different ways you can make the analogy, but bringing the right people to the table and to be able to connect for where you are now and where you're wanting to go.
Okay, and like you said, so you said before we even start a business. So let me ask you this. So, um, is it advantageous for us to make an appointment with a financial advisor? Like we're getting ready for our business? And is that usually a cost that charges just to do that first initial, or it'd probably be, we don't have to deal with that yet?
Yeah, thank you definitely for asking that. For us at Checky Financial, we definitely get to know our clients. The discovery meeting is one way to say it. It's get to know you. What's most important about money to you? What are the most important relationships in your life? What professionals are you already working with? So we know that you have a CPA that's spectacular that you've known for years, or maybe that they're the wrong fit CPA and you need help and guidance on going to someone who's going to be strategic and the needs that you're actually looking for. So initial consultation is a conversation, just wanting to get to know each other. And if we're a good fit, there's the know, like, and trust, which is important to all of us. If we like one another and want to continue on the conversation to the next steps, then we will at that time.
Okay, great. So that's just basically saying you're a starting point, like you said earlier.
Mhm.
Even if
Yes.
we having our business starting out, we need to look at bringing you guys in to kind of help us with our goals and lay it out. I love that part.
Correct.
And that's definitely something we want to emphasize, to make an appointment with you when you even start. I mean, we don't hear this conversation. Or like, go see you when you start a business, they're talking about the CPA, they're talking about the accountant, they're talking about the attorney. They're talking about all this stuff, but they don't mention you guys. But I see it's advantageous for us to come to you first, so you can kind of guide us on that.
If the have already been established, that's still good to have a conversation about where are you now? How is the business structured? What do you want it to look like? And the implications making those changes and changing the entity or the business structure is important. If you're already established business, those are also important conversations to have, which impacts tax, many impacts a variety of things.
Exactly, exactly. And with everybody now trying to get into real estate, and also having a business, and then they're all trying to do wholesale, we really need to come to you guys more now, I think, than ever, really. And that because that's what you can add a what is they call it's a method to the madness.
Making a coordinated effort or a comprehensive
Right.
plan might be the fancier terms, but correct. That
Yeah.
yes,
Well, you
yes,
say it that
definitely.
way, I say it my way. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
So anyway, I get it though, and you're right. So let's talk more about the money mindset. I know you've
Mhm.
talked about it a lot, so I do want to give you that time. Let's talk about the money mindset shift, if you would.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. The money mindset that comes out of the chapter in our book. If more is all you want, more is all you get. So if it's just focusing on, I want to be competitive, I want to win, I want to conquer this and conquer that, and you're not actually working towards something specific, the bar that you're working towards will always just keep moving further away from you. It'll just keep going like this, where you're
Mm,
never satisfied. So a big part of that is gratitude of realizing where are you now, but having go. So it's not sit back and do nothing, kind of
right,
like contentment, but it's wanting to know what you want to accomplish, business, personally, professionally, and then having that gratitude and that playing out throughout your life of just people seeing that when they encounter you, they see something different about you because who you are, not just how you respond, but who you actually are
right,
then comes through your actions. So it's being intentional about the lifestyle that you desire. It's about once again that we started with is what brings you joy. If
right.
you enjoy, you want to make sure that you spend time, you take time for yourself. If you love playing sports, maybe it's pickleball or golf or something like that, going to the gym, put in the time there, make it a priority so
Yeah,
that you can take care of your body, your mind, which is important. Those are all work together, and then be
yep.
able to then be present for your family and for your business.
Yeah, I think that is great based on what you're saying, because we don't get that type of conversation. But we do get, we see years later people is burnt up. They burnt out. You see what I'm
Yep.
saying? So, and
Mhm.
that's because they haven't incorporated some of the things that you're saying. So I think that's awesome. So when it comes to us, let's talk a little bit about the retirement planning. How should a professionals calculate the real cost of retirement, or how should we actually handle that? If you can give us a
Yes,
little.
definitely. It starts with knowing what your income, your guaranteed or projected income is. So you have your Social Security estimate that you can get directly from Social Security. So it shows you what you've earned, what you're projected to be able to bring in the future. Now, if you have any pensions or other things that are guaranteed income, what that income stream is going to be. So add all that up, subtract the expenses either currently or what you're projecting in your retirement. And that difference is how much you need to come up with the outside investments or maybe selling your business, which, oh, by the way, a lot of people, a high percentage, I think it's over 80% of small businesses never actually sell. So it's an
Right.
important
That's
to
true.
plan ahead with your profits, as was mentioned with Jackie and I beforehand, that to be able to plan ahead for that. So as far as retirement is putting those numbers together and then seeing what the difference is. And then that's the goal that we're working towards. In X number of years from now, you need this much income flow from your investments. In that point, it becomes a pretty simple math equation, at least for those who like math and have a finance degree from UT and have been enjoying math my whole life. So you just run the numbers. It's pretty easy when that comes. I know some people you hear the numbers and it's just like, oof,
Right.
something we
But
enjoy in our household. At least several of us do.
right. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. And even if you don't know, that's why we come to JJ, because you can actually kind of help us with that, which I love this part. I really do. So let's talk about avoiding financial pitfalls. I know you've talked on them before, but if you would let our audience know what steps can people take to ensure that they don't run out of money in retirement.
Yes, definitely. One funny but true story is if you get to the point where you buy a brand new house and then
Mhm.
you essentially remodel and redo the whole thing. So you just say bought a house twice and I see that look on your face. We thought the same
Oh,
thing. But we've seen that take place. Uh, yes. And other things is developing exotic or expensive hobbies in retirement. Something you never did beforehand, but all of a sudden you're gonna go buy a plane or you're gonna go because you're when you're
but
older
wait,
years.
JJ, let's be real. Society tell us that's what we're supposed to do. You done made all this money, so let's go get the jet. Let's go get all the resorts. So you're saying not so quick. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, if you're a pilot who's been flying your whole life and that's part of who you are, great.
Okay.
If that's not your experience and you just think I've made it because I now own
What if a
a
status?
fill in the blank for status. That's one way to definitely make is a pitfall in retirement. Like
Okay.
one of us at Checky Financial is very big on cars, loves them, drives a Mercedes, has had Jaguars over the years. That's
Mhm.
not me, by the way, if you could kind of
Right.
hear that
But
reference. That's John Checky Jr. Loves that stuff. I'm more of an A to B on cars. We definitely upgraded my wife's car and family vehicle that has a lot of bells and whistles, which is
Mhm.
spectacular. I have a sedan. It gets me where I need to go. That's just so
So
knowing
you
what brings
saying
me
that
joy.
all that you can relate to it, but you still want us to put it in perspective.
Correct. Like I can't imagine myself going to buy some exotic car because that just doesn't interest me. That's just not really whatever. I don't feel like I've made it because I now own that car. So that's one thing that's a pitfall to avoid. Knowing yourself, knowing the lifestyle you want. You're never going to keep up with the Joneses, if you will, and those around you. I mean, I can go on and on about that, but just what's the lifestyle that you want and work towards that and not try to, don't show out for somebody else just so someone can say, well, good job. But be content and be great. Gratitude, have gratitude for where you are.
Right, exactly. You got that right. I love that, and you are correct. So let's talk about this wealth. A lot of people want to build wealth, but how is it that we can build a legacy beyond wealth? How could we do that?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. And some of the nuts and bolts of building wealth, by the way, is not very exciting. It's just the month in and month out, putting money aside for the future, spending less than you make. Not a surprising idea. It's just the discipline of doing it. And even better if you make it automatic in advance, as in when you get paid, you automatically transfer some out into savings and investing so you don't have to think about it. And you'll be surprised or amazed at how quickly that builds up. And
Right,
especially when you leave it alone for growth. So back to the legacy mindset, though, it is discovering and helping our families in that context of what their unique abilities are.
right.
How are they gifted? And I have three teenagers at this time, so seeing how they're gifted and the different areas and that they may want to pursue in their life, not a cookie cutter, this is the way you should go because of whatever, but it's saying, okay, what are the skills and talents that you have? Something I've realized is I've been connecting people since I was a kid. Back then, well before cell phones, it was I would call everyone's house. Hey, do you want to play at the park this afternoon at 2? Get enough yeses, go back through the list.
I can see you being that way, JJ. I can see
Yes, going working back through the list. We got a game at 2. Show up. As long as about 8 of the 10 who committed show up, we're now playing a
you got a
game.
game.
So that's something I've been connecting people my whole life, and
Love
which is
it.
why I have I love being able to say I know a guy and actually be able to connect someone with the right person that helps them to get to where they want to go. So back on the legacy, so teaching your values to the next generation. That
Mhm.
can be within your business. Who is your, say, right-hand man? Or who is your who's right there with you that if they were not there would make a great big impact on your business. Well, making sure that those values align as well. Yes, you want to have the legal part taken care of as far as partnerships and things like that. But the values piece that you don't want to ignore that piece because that long term is going to have a very big impact on for yourself, your employees that you're able to bring in. Because if it's a bad culture, that's going to be discovered quickly, and that people aren't going to want to stick around and put in the work that helps you to get to where you want to go. So
That's true.
teaching values to the next generation and developing the community around you, things like that. And then the practical sense is estate planning, being
Mm.
able to actually put your legal documents in order, not because you're concerned something's going to happen to you where you currently are, no one ever is, but to be able to think in advance, say what happens if, what happens if something does happen to me?
Right.
And maybe mom and dad and they pass, what happens to the kids? What happens to their finances and possessions and things like that that can be quite messy. So someone's not only in the emotions of losing a loved one, but then now they're trying to sort out and figure out what to do next. You definitely want to plan that in advance. And something that we do that we really enjoy is we call family meetings where our clients come in and the next generation, which are adult children by this point, come in and to meet us, preferably in person if there's part of the world. Sometimes it's elsewhere if they are scattered across the U.S. But to be able to meet, so there's a name and a face. This is who the advisor who's been working with your parents. And we don't talk about money necessarily. We're not going to say you're inheriting X dollars because that's not the conversation we want to have right there.
Right.
But it's unless the client wants to. They usually like to keep that to themselves.
Yeah, they
But it's
want to keep
be able,
living. No, I'm just playing.
yeah,
Just playing.
correct. But it's being able to just have the communication. So when something does happen,
Right.
then they know who to talk to, and it's not some stranger they're meeting for the first time. So, and we even have third generation clients, by the way, now. So is the parents and then the children, and then actually, I guess the next generation is now getting close to
Right.
college age and launching on their own. So it's been exciting to see, and it's not just something we talk about, but it's something that we do actually implement.
Well, I do know what you said, and thank you too, is that you're right. Doing this saving and planning, it's not fun. It's something we need to do automatic. But I will tell you, JJ, I'm looking at. I might need to reach out to you because you just brought something else I hadn't thought about. Even when it comes to retirement and everything we want to do, we need to start with you to do all of that because you can direct us where we need to go. Where if an attorney is needed, power attorney, whatever, you all would handle. You're just a one-stop shop.
That is
That's
correct. Exactly. Yes.
Oh my
Thank
God.
you.
That is good. Oh my God. So it's nice to even know. And that's what I'm saying. Now, maybe people already know how they can get everything with you and all that. But some of us don't know. And that's the reason why I wanted to have, for those of us that do not know, because we're so busy on our business, we hadn't had a chance to look into it. That's why I wanted them to see you. And definitely. Now, let me get a little comment in the chat. If you would go over what you put in the chat so everybody can have access to that. Explain to us what you put in there.
Oh, yes, thank you. First of all, I dropped in the LinkedIn link to get connected there, in addition to scheduling link as well to be able to, obviously they're all links, but the scheduling to be able to get a time with us. And then two other things I'd like to highlight is downloading our copy of Spend Time and Save Money. You might see the poster on the wall over there. It's a book that John Checky Jr. and I wrote. Gives a little bit like some of the stuff we've talked about today. A lot of the stuff we talked about today are actually is in the book, and then we
Okay.
help you actually then live it, flesh it out. What does it actually look like in real life? How do we implement those things? That's the next steps. And then the last one is actually if you wanted a physical copy of the book or a Kindle edition, there's a way to connect with that as well through that link on our website.
Well, good. And I'm so proud of you. I love the fact you're spend time and save money download. That is something that's definitely everybody should kind of get to. It's easy read. I kind of read some of it. Easy read. It's something I'm going to keep and I am going to market. So definitely we're going to have we have JJ here, but JJ is also on our referral page. So you guys can go to you see up here, TDJ. I love this. TDJ Equity. I always want to do that. Okay,
Yep.
TDJEquityLLC.net. You guys want to go there, and he's on our referral page, as well as you see his information is here, where you all can make an appointment. And it sounds like, if I'm correct, it's a free appointment they can make initially with you, right? Exactly.
That
Okay.
is correct. It's a conversation. Do we
Okay.
like one another? Do we want to have another conversation? And oh, by the way, even to those who already have advisors and maybe some of those different
Okay.
spaces, we'll take a look to see what you're doing. We call it a second opinion review. And if you're already doing something that's great, we'll say, you know what? Keep doing what you're doing.
Gotcha.
Spectacular. If there's some areas that can tweak that'll help you, then we'll let you know that as well.
Okay, and I want to say this too about JJ. I've actually met with a lot of advisor and wealth advisors as well. But when it
Mhm.
came to putting someone on the show, JJ Harvey's a lot different. He's a lot like how my whole team is. We understand business and we understand the problems that you have. Not that we're gonna try to make money on it. It's more of let us help you and show you a better way to do this so you can get to your wealth goal as quick as possible. So with that, I want to mention, let's talk about real quickly about the power of retirement goals. So that's what we're talking about. That.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. That once again, the lifestyle that you want. And have the kind of like let's dream a minute. I was sitting down with one couple and we were talking for a while and talking for a while and eventually she says, what I really want is, and I paused for a moment and said, all before this was to get to this moment. What
Mm,
is the lifestyle and the desire, the dream? What is
right,
that? What are you desiring for you and your family? And then
right.
she was able to articulate that about essentially a freedom of schedule and to be able to enjoy the assets they've already accumulated and to be able to enjoy life while they're still relatively young instead of just working until they no longer can travel or work until they can no longer maybe they're enjoying life less because they have more pains in their body and they have less of a time to enjoy it in the back end. So it's
Right.
important to know the lifestyle that you want. I know I keep saying it, but it's important. It's the dream. Another
Right.
way that we put it is what were the dreams you had when you were a kid? And maybe someone responded with, "That's not practical. What do you really like?" Kind of
I've
like
heard that.
just kind of put it aside and said, "What is that? Is it owning a particular vehicle? You know what? Have the dream. Let's help you make that a reality." If it's another couple that's wanted to move to actually I wanted to move to Colorado, but right before they did, their son got married and had a little one on the way. Well,
Oh.
they weren't going to move from the Metroplex to Colorado and to be away from their grandson right after he was born. They just pivoted the plan. They still had the assets accumulated to purchase a house. In this sense, they went down to the hill country instead of Colorado.
Right.
I know you could say those are in Colorado. That doesn't compare, but for Texas, it was the closest you can get to enjoy the outdoors and the
Right.
lifestyle that they wanted post working years. So, but and another thing, I think I mentioned some of those things already. So, an interesting point also is if your advisors are, say, I'll call it significantly older than you are, they may move on at some point when you're not ready to move on, or you might just get handed off to somebody else
Right.
because they left the business. So it's good to have the mix of advisors with both experience as well as on the next generation, which is why it's so much fun to be part of a father-son team, in this case at Checky Financial. And then we'll see if one of my kids, who one looks like that might be a possibility, may want to join us in the future. So we'll see as they continue to grow and develop.
And that's
So
a
those
good. I
are,
hadn't
yes.
thought of that. I'm sorry not to break you off, but I hadn't thought of you. Right. You have to look at people changing and how do you want this to keep going, and to have a company that actually have it where they can keep going along with you would matter. Now, I want to say this along with your stories, how the power of retirement goes or just goes. Nope, retirement goes. We're gonna go on that. How important it is. I've actually had matter of fact, one of my doctors that I have, and he's working, doing well, his business growing. And the question he asked me, because I coach him, is that what am I working for? And so I had to tell him, just because he's a young doctor. But once
Yeah.
I told him some goals, I said, you want to look at, putting your money in, you probably do some stocks, we got to look at your retirement, look at, and then his eyes, he said, you know what, you're right. So let's start working on that, which we ain't. I'm going to send them to you. But
Thank
I
you.
do see where having those goals in front of you, knowing that you're going to deal with them like in 40 years from now, it gives you hope. It gives you
Yes.
direction. And so I could see where bringing you in, like you said now, what you said in the beginning, bring me in before you start your business. I can see why. I think
Yes.
that is really good.
You so much, by the way. And it's also to note, it isn't like you'll enjoy a life eventually. I mean, hopefully that's come through in this conversation, is we also want you to have the lifestyle and enjoy life now as well. So we have a doctor who's finished a lengthy, not residency, but the next fellowship. And once she finished that, now she's making the income that they've been planning for and preparing for, which then set the stage for her husband to launch a software company to be able to bring his skill set to the table. And that's again, proper connections with other professionals to be able to make sure he set that up properly. So I made some introductions there so they can continue to build the lifestyle that they desire. In this case, they're trying to decide between staying in the neighborhood that they're in and finding something bigger as far as their expanding family, or move a little bit further out to get more home for your money. So they're thinking through those things with their additional income that's already come and soon to really take off with his business as well. So it's not just 40 years down the road. Yes, we plan and prepare for that, but it's
Right,
also what does next year look like? What is the ideal home you look like? Do you care
right.
more about staying in the neighborhood and the community you've built, or do you care more about the particular house and what you can get
Good
for
point.
your family? So there's some give and take, and that's some conversation that we're having right now.
Right. And that makes a lot of sense. It really does. Thank you so much for that.
Thank
So
you.
I want to thank you for being here, but I want you to also, if you could, I want you to give some information or takeaway you would like for our group to take with them. But before you do that, this is the question I had come through that they wanted to know. Is it a difference? Can you work with people that are like W-2 employees, but you work with owners of business as well? It's not
Yeah,
just, yeah, and I
right.
thought I want you to tell that. So you work with everybody. It doesn't matter where they're at and point in their life, they just need to call you.
Yes. Yes. We work with both people who are established executives, W-2 employees, because in their case, they're used to the steady paycheck. But then
Right.
what happens next? So those are lots of conversations we've had around engineers and things like that. And then business owners themselves, which we do some coaching for the business owner, helping them with his own staffing and the culture that they're generating and creating and within their own firm in their
Okay.
own company, as well as then how to continue to build their own retirement towards their own retirement and what that looks like. So we're able to bring all those aspects to the table, and which is then bring it all together for a cohesive plan and purpose, so you can make financial planning a joyful experience.
See, I like that. So what about, it's a big it's thing that's going on now. What about people that's want to get in stocks and bonds and all that? They still can come to you and you can help them with their portfolio as far as adding it all together. Still, you can do all of
Oh,
that.
I do appreciate you mentioning that because I didn't talk about any specific things. So yes, we do investment management, help evaluate what you're currently doing, and also help you as far as the actual managing your finances as well. As relationship management, I definitely touched on that about the professionals that you work with, retirement income lifestyle that you desire. There's the insurance side of it, health,
See,
property and casualty, life insurance, those other pieces that can be a great planning tool. Cash value life insurance can be a great planning tool as well, long term. And then the estate planning piece to making sure that your family is taken care of as well. So we bring part of that we
uh,
play in-house, and part of that we bring in other professionals to be in their areas of expertise. So thank you for pointing that out. Sometimes I get that gets lost in the mix, but yes, investment
and
management.
that's why I did it. We talked about it
Thank
before.
you.
It does get
Yes.
lost in it, and everybody think, and that's why we do this giving power to the business owner because of the misconception of a lot of things. We just put it together, and it's not because even with you, I can see you can take care of everything that we got going on, our goals and everything, because you had a third parties or whoever to come in that can help us too. But what I like the fact is one brain. Everything is there, and together you and I are planning what we need to do. Not even next year, not even 5 years, but you can take it as long as it need to be. That's what I love about it.
Yes.
So we have my doctor has a 1 year goal, he has a 2 year goal, we have 5 years. So that's what I'm saying. And he needs to see you first instead of us trying to figure it out. Man, this is awesome. So get ready for us to say, for you to tell us what do you want us as a takeaway from this whole thing from our listeners to get from you.
Yes, definitely. One is dream again.
Mm,
What is the lifestyle that you desire? And then let's have a conversation around that. Use the schedule link or email call, and let's talk about it. What does that look like for you? And let's see how we can bring a value to you. If it's not us, we'll let you know. If it is us, well, then let's have that conversation and continue to bring the amazing professionals like Jackie to the table to be able to help in the different areas that they specialize in. So I appreciate the opportunity. So you can get the copy of the Spend Time and Save Money, however you digest books, and definitely take advantage of that opportunity. So thank you.
What I'm gonna definitely need, I want to post that book on our LinkedIn. So I have this link. So I want to put it there
Thank
so
you.
everybody can see it. So we want to do that. Well, we want to thank JJ again for coming to the show. I have enjoyed you as always. We look forward to you. Hopefully, we have some other things coming up that we can have you come in and pitch our coaching group, our women group, and things of that nature. Because I think we need to let people know how you run, how it runs, how you can help with everything. There's so much stuff cut up, John. You wouldn't believe, JJ. So yes, you would. It's a lot of stuff that's cut up, and it's good to have you.
Uh,
So thank you again for being here. And I would like to thank our listeners and our viewers. We want to thank you guys for being a part of this. We know we get a lot of response after we posted. This one will be posted on our YouTube as well. We'll have information on him that's on our website, and we'll be sending this out to a lot of you as well. Want to thank you for being here. You all have a good day. Thank you and take care.
and Jackie.
All right. Thank you, JJ.